rebuilding?
You know, I worked in the back of the warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and so I didn't build furniture, but I moved all the furniture on and off the floor and put it in people's trucks or whatever. But yeah, that was a while ago. But that just, did you ask that question? Yeah, it just made me, when you said when's the first time I saw the stadium, I printed it because I was going to play them in 2008, but that was 2005 because that's when I graduated high school.
The Chandler, Arizona connection. I mean, Brock Purdy, Iowa State.
I recruited Brock.
You did?
Yeah,
okay.
And I don't know his family like intimately, but I do know him, and I know he was coached at that time, and the stadium there where he's at is named after the head coach that I played for in high school, John Wren, who was a huge impact in my life.
Coach, when with this compressed calendar, when will you know about when some of the players will make decisions?
Oh, we'll know in the next couple weeks, and we'll feel good about a player, and then January 14th, he'll get offered something crazy, and he'll be in the portal. I mean, this is what this is. I didn't create these rules, but I got to balance them, and I got to be honest with people. And what I do know is that this team is really close, though, and so when you have a bunch of people that want to play together and have a certain level of spirit of who they do it with, they usually want to stick together, which I feel good about. But at the same time, these guys have to make the best decision for themselves.
The roster rules, the NIL was all there a year ago when you had to bring in how many new players to Washington State. What was that challenge like, and how is that going to serve you well at Iowa State?
The whole, when I took the job at Washington State, there's 25 players in the portal. A day later, there's 43 players in the portal. And when the day I showed up, with every time I try to call somebody, there's another player in the portal. There's 63 players in the portal immediately within 3 days. So every time I try to call a player, another one was jumping in. And I have a ton of players that were with me at South Dakota State are wanting to come. And they're calling me, and their parents are wondering what's going on and if they can come. It's just a unique landscape, having accepted the job and getting flooded with, can I come with you? But at the same time, you have players that you're trying to connect with to see if they'll stay at their current location, and they're jumping in. After a while, you just say, screw it, and you got to be with people that want to be with you. And so that was a whirlwind. And honestly, we were able to have success largely due to those that stayed at Washington State, but it's also those that came in with us from South Dakota State and a couple that we added from New Mexico State. So our team is always different. I've been blessed to be around a bunch of group of players that committed to a common goal. But was it easy? No, none of this is easy. Last year we had the spring portal. This year we won't. Last year's spring portal was pivotal for us, but at the time that I took that job. This is a little out ahead of when I took that job, which is a couple weeks, which really is a lifetime when you don't sleep. But we'll work through it when it was solid.
You talked about your staff a few times, bringing some people with you, allowing some people from...
Yeah, I'm not going to really hit on the staff yet. I'll do it all at once, so that way I don't have a million questions on people calling me and asking me if I can get them a job here.
How does your winning success at South Dakota State going to help you here at Iowa State with the national championship and making it to the semis 1 year later?
Because there's a lot of really good players out here in the Midwest. O linemen, D linemen. You can win with the bigs, and I do believe in that. Look what South Dakota State and North Dakota State have just done for years. And there's a lot of players that we've all gone after that we didn't get because they either went to Iowa or Iowa State or Minnesota and they want to play at a higher level. Well, now we're here, and we're going to have the opportunity to go get the players that we want out of the Midwest. And we got to be able to build relationships and keep them here, and I'm excited for that.
Coach, how much did the success they've had here, did that make the job even more attractive?
I mean, every time you have success, it makes everything more attractive. People that win want to be with winners, right? And a big part of this was family for me, and it was the culture, and it was walking into a good situation to where these kids were committed to something bigger than themselves. That's also extremely intriguing, especially right now in the landscape where everybody is just looking for bigger and better constantly. These kids have a little bit of a foundation to say that who I do it with may be more important than a single dollar.
Your biggest coaching phase was halfway done. What was your advice to you as you prepare to make the jump here from the Big 12?
Yeah, I mean, John Stigmar is probably the biggest influence in my life, just with the opportunities, how he treated me. Clark Lee was the head coach at Vanderbilt right now and has been at numerous stops. Jay Bubak was my defensive coordinator over the years. But I work with great coaches. Ryan Grubb was on the opposite side of the ball. He's offensive coordinator right now at Alabama. Luke Meadows. One of them, and I don't know if I've ever told him, will be joining us. When I was at FAU, I got mentored there by their defensive backs coach, and he'll be joining us. He's one of the best teachers I've been around, and he's done an unbelievable job of creating really what is a special culture there. So I'm excited for that.
We have time for one more. We'll do Jake.
What did you learn about yourself after being in the Dakotas for so long and going to pretty much start fresh in Pullman?
What I learn about myself?
Yeah, building up the program in 1 year.
Well, it's a lot of work. It's level of consistency. Getting to know players all in that short amount of time is extremely difficult, but trying to be honest. I've always been honest with the players. I tell them exactly where they sit. I didn't promise them playing time. We pushed them. I told them the truth. They don't always want to hear the truth, but they got it from us. And then our staff did a great job of really giving their best to them to try to get that many players ready that fast in a new scheme and new technically. So there was a lot of work that was put into just last year, and we know how to do it now. I know little things to make it better than how we did it, and I'm excited to do it with this group because every time that you do something right, there's an opportunity to grow from it. And having just done this, it was a great opportunity to kind of learn and understand the steps. If I were to do this from South Dakota State, there would be some hiccups along the way. It would be my first time moving away. Having just done it with that many players, outside of maybe Dion, I don't know how many people have flipped a roster of 75 people and had success. And I don't even think he made a bowl game. And it's not no knock. I just know how hard it is.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.